Today we are going to learn how to find missing sides or angles of triangles that are not right triangles. So we can't use Pythagorean theorem to help us, but we can use what is called the law of sines. And the law of sine is used to help you when an angle, help you find an angle when you know two sides and the angle that's opposite one of those sides, or when you're trying to find a missing side when you know two angles and only one side. So the law of sine just basically says that you can use any of these three or any two of these three ratios to help you find what you need. So you can use sine A over A and sine B over B. You're actually going to use a ratio, two of the ratios, and you're going to cross multiply to help you find what you need. All of the uppercase letters represent angles, so all of these are angles. And the lowercase letters represents the side lengths. Or you can always put the side lengths on top with the sign of your given angles on the bottom. So any of these two ratios will help you when you're trying to find an angle with two sides or a side and you know two angles. So these problems are not in the book. You're actually going to use the worksheet that is given to you. So I'm going to be using examples from those to help you. So they're going to ask you to solve the triangle. That means find all the missing angles and all the missing sides. If you notice, we already have two of the angles, 29 and 50. I want to go ahead and suggest that you label your triangle A, B, and C, and it doesn't matter which way you label it. And this will be little b, little c, and you notice we already have little a. So remember, all the angles of a triangle add up to 180. So I already have 29 plus 50. So I have 79 degrees. To find angle B, you would do 180 minus 79. And that would give you 101. And just to let you know, don't go by the picture, because sometimes it seems as if the picture is not drawn to scale. So be careful. Don't just look at it and say, oh, that can't be that angle. But that's how you find angle B. So measure angle B is 101 degrees. And then we have to find little b and little c. So I'm going to use one of my ratios. I can do sine, since I'm going to I'll find little c first. So I have to do sine of big C, which is 50 degrees. That corresponds to little c, equals sine of, I'm going to use the one they gave me, big A, since I have little a. So you either have to have two angles in one side or two sides in one angle. And then you're just going to do what we call cross multiply. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode. So you're doing sine of 50 degrees times 26. And over here, you're doing sine of 29 degrees times C. So that's how cross multiplication looks. And then you're going to divide by sine 29. And so in your calculator, you're going to work that out and get little c. So little c equals 41 units. Okay? And then we have to find little b. So you can do, I'll use a again, sine of 29 degrees over little a, which is 26, equals sine of 101, because that's big B, over little b. And I'll cross multiply again. And I'll get sine 29 times b equals sine 101 times 26. And then you're going to divide and divide. So on your calculator, you're going to type in sine 101 times 26 divided by sine 29. And then if I round it to a whole number, I'm going to get little b equals 53. And we have found all the sides and all the angles. So that's what solve the triangle means. Okay, here's an example where we have two sides and an angle. So we call this SSA. And when you're doing side-side angle, we have to be careful because sometimes this can make two triangles in one. Sometimes, so you may have two solutions, you may only have one solution, or you may have no solution at all. So the way that you determine is you're still going to label your triangle A, B, and C. And this will be little c and little b. So first I'm going to use the law of sines to help me find angle B. And so I'll do sine of 125, and that's supposed to be a degree, over the corresponding side, which is 90, equals sine of big B over little b, which is 38. And then you would cross multiply, and you're going to get sine 125 times 38 equals sine big B times 90, no degree. And then we would divide both sides by 90. And when you're dividing to get the answer, you want to try to get at least 4 decimals, because the more decimals you have, the more accurate your answer is going to be. So that'll be 0.3459. So to get angle B, you're going to use sine inverse for second sine, typing in that number you just got. And then one possible choice for angle B would be 20 degrees. Okay? Now, there are two angles between 0 and 180 for which sine B equals 0.3459. So you could also do 180 minus 20, and you'll get 160. So if you were to do sine of 160, you would get approximately the same thing. And the reason being is because sine is also positive in quadrant 2, and 160 and 20 are reference angles, so that's why. But if we were to make angle B 160, that would be impossible because then our angle measure would be more than 180, which means the only choice we could use is that angle B would have to be 20 degrees. So you always have to check when you're only given one angle. And then I'm going to use that to help me find angle A. So I have 125 plus 20 degrees. So far my triangle has a total of 145, which means the measure of angle A would have to be 35 degrees so that all of my angles add up to 180. And the only other side I'm missing is little a. So I'll do sine C again. It doesn't matter which one you use. Sine of 125 over 90 equals sine of 35 degrees over A. And then you're going to cross multiply again. You'll get sine 125 times A equals sine 35 times 90. And you divide by sine 125. And put all of that in your calculator, which I'm doing now. And you're going to get that A is 63 units. And there we have solved a side-side angle triangle. All right, let's try one more where you do get that. It's called an ambiguous case. Okay, here's another side-side angle. I'm going to label this A, B, C, little a, little b, little c. So I'm going to do the law of sines again to help me find angle B since I have side B. So I'll do sine 34 degrees over 85 equals sine big B over 105. And I'm going to cross multiply. And so you're going to do sine 34 times 105 equals sine of B times 85. And then you'll divide both sides by 85. And then you'll get sine of B equals 0.6908. And remember, to find angle B, you got to do the inverse. And doing the inverse of that will give us 44 degrees, a possible choice. And so, since sine is also positive in quadrant 2, we do 180 minus 44, and we get 136. Now, it is possible for angle B to be 136 or 44 because we're still under 180. If we add it to angle A, which is 34. So Because of that, we have to work this out as if it were two triangles. We have to do one where angle B is 136, and then we have to do it where a possibility that angle B is 44 degrees. And that's only because there are two quadrants where sine is positive. And since we only have one angle, and we don't know what another angle is, we have to work it out both ways. Okay, so those are our two triangles that we're looking at. So I'm going to do the top triangle on this page, and then I'll do the bottom triangle on the following page. Or actually, I'll just do them both. So I'm going to go to the next page. And remember, this only happens if you have two sides and only one angle. So for the first triangle, since we have 34 plus 44, right now we have a total of 78 degrees. So since the angle of the triangle have to add up to 180, that would mean that angle C has to be 102 degrees. So now we have all the angles of a triangle, and all we're missing now is little c. So I'm going to do sine of 34 degrees, which is angle A, over 85, equals sine of 102, which I just found, over little c. And I'm going to cross multiply and do sine 102 times 85 divided by sine 34. So that means C would equal 149 units. That's the first triangle. My other option is if I had 34 plus 136, that would give me a total of 170 degrees so far, which means that measure of angle C in this case would have to be 10 degrees. So they can add up to 180. And here again, I am looking for little c. So I'm going to do sine 34 over 85 equals sine 10 degrees over c. And I'm going to cross multiply and do sine 10 times 85 divided by sine 34. And in this case, little c equals 26 units. Okay? So that only happens if the angle you found and the one that's given gives you enough room to have a third angle where the total is less than 180. If not, you only have one solution. So you could have two solutions, one solution, or no solution, depending upon what sine inverse equals. And that's it for law of sine. So your assignment is on the worksheet that was given to you.